Have you ever gone to a movie at a movie theater and when the show's over, you go back outside and it's still light out? That can be kind of a painful experience, can't it? You just spent 2 hours in this dark theater and then you walk out into the bright sun and it's painful because your eyes have to adjust to all this light that's coming in. Of course, the funny part is, being outside in the sun, like that's more real than what you're experiencing watching that movie. And yet to be in reality can be painful sometimes as we adjust to it. I think something really similar happens when we choose to follow Jesus. Or I should say, when Jesus calls us to follow him. See, when we make that choice, when we're called by Jesus to follow him, what's happening is that we're going from the darkness into the light. We're going from what's less real to what's more real. Because to be with Jesus is reality. To be with Jesus is to be in the light, because Jesus said, I am the light. And so when we're following Jesus, we're immersed in that light. Now, this is not a one-time decision. I should be very clear about that. To follow Jesus is a daily choice. Like each day, I wake up and I have to decide, and you have to decide, today I'm going to follow Jesus. No matter what happened yesterday, today I'm starting over and I'm going to live in the light. But you know what? To make that choice to live in the light can be kind of painful sometimes. It can be a little bit jarring. And it's because we're coming out of the darkness and we have to adjust to it. There are so many good things in our world and our culture, but there's also a lot of darkness too. There are a lot of things that are evil, that are unjust, that are just plain false. And we're kind of swimming in that all the time. And then suddenly when we decide to live in the light, to live as a child of the light, we're in a different reality. We're swimming upstream, so to speak. St. Paul tells us in this month's Word of Life to live as children of the light, because the fruit of the light is everything that is true and that is right and that is good. That's good. That's what it means to live in the light, even if it can be a little bit painful sometimes. But you know what? Our eyes are actually made for the light. And so when you go outside of that theater and it's kind of painful at first, eventually you adjust and your eyes take in the light and you're able to see all the beauty of the real world, which is so much more beautiful than anything you could watch on a screen. And it's the same for following Jesus. Even if it's a little bit painful to be a child of the light at first, we're actually made for that. We're actually made for the light. We're made for what's good and right and true. And so it becomes easier. The funny thing about the light is it actually spreads out and eliminates darkness. That's the nature of light, to spread, to radiate. And I think a good definition of a saint is a woman or man that sees the darkness and brings light to that darkness. You can look at the history of the church from the time of Jesus to our present day. Men and women who have chosen to follow him as saints, that's what they do. They see the evil and they see the injustice and they see the falsehood, but they bring the light there so that it can be good and that it can be just and that it can be true. Where is there darkness in your life? I bet you can think of a few places, maybe in your family, in your workplace, at your school, where you're kind of like, ooh, this is sort of a dark place. There's some darkness there. Don't be afraid. You're actually made to be a child of the light. And so you can ask yourself, how can I bring goodness? How can I bring justice? How can I bring truth to those places? If we do that, we're fulfilling our vocation as children of the light. And we're actually living in what's real as a child, as a son or daughter of Jesus. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to keep up with other great content to help you live your life of unity with God and with one another, make sure you subscribe to Focolare Media so that you can continue to live your divine adventure.